Hello, for those of you who have seen my photographs but maybe not my face, I'm Tyler Fields of Tyler Fields Photography. More than a year ago, Woody Metzger of First Light Boatworks and I started to put together a little video project. We wanted to introduce some of the people behind the brands of New England's marine industry. Many of the boat builders, sailmakers, and artists that make up what we do are many of the best in the world. We hope that this quick introduction would encourage locals to support these businesses when possible when buying new, restoring old, or just keeping up with life on the water. Our idea was simple. We wanted to ask 4 basic questions. Why has your business survived? Where do you see it going? What would you be doing if you weren't doing this? Would you like to see the next generation continue in this industry? And do you love your job? The responses we filmed were a mix of the expected, unexpected, humorous, and at times a little sobering. After a handful of interviews, life caught up with us. First Light Boatworks started building and launching boats one after another, and my schedule of chasing regattas up and down the coast ate up all the free time that we had. Well, the world has a habit of keeping us on our toes, and many of us right now find we have a little extra time. So I started to dig through some of the archives and begin putting together some edits of these original questions. Oddly enough, some of the questions seem more fitting now than they did when we originally asked them. Woody and I want to send out a huge thank you to the people and companies who gave up their time to let us come in and interview. It's more important now than ever to support these local companies. They're not just logos, they're friends, they're family. They're right here in our local communities, and they're going to need our help. So with that, let's dive into the first question. Thank you for watching.
I think part of why we are here and are thriving has a lot to do with the work that was done before us.
I think we've survived on a tremendous amount of hard work done by the men and women in the crew of East Passage.
Why has it survived?
Basically because Ross and I show up every day, and along with a great crew of young men and women that keep it going.
I actually think a lot of it's because of the community where we live. We live in a community that appreciates having a boatyard like ours. Well, a lot of our clients are right here in Vineyard Haven. A lot of the boats we built are right here in Vineyard Haven.
I have no idea why it survived. Perseverance, I guess. I mean, it's the thing that I do, so I just keep doing it. I mean, many times people have said, especially my wife, have said, why are you doing this? Why don't you get a real job? And it's just what I've been doing for the past 40 years, so I just keep doing it.
Well, way beyond anything that I ever expected it would. When I started it was in town, in the attic, to guess that it would be even here, but also the other offshoots that are even bigger than this now, are I would never have imagined that I would have my nephew running this place and my son just doing the other stuff with tents.
One, we have a really diverse business. You know, when one thing isn't going really well in the world of sailing, something else might be, and we have gotten into building, a whole myriad of different products because of the way the business has changed over the last 40 years.
My business, Aries Pond Boatyards, I've owned it for going on 30 years. So I've been through the survival part, and now it's looking to the future and maintaining. I had a business plan where if I had no debt, and if we couldn't afford it, we couldn't buy it. And that was really held us together. So with every boat we built or every project we had, whatever the profit came out of that project went to the next step, the next thing we wanted.
Our business has survived through generations because it's based on trade skills and a trade person's really life goal to evolve their trade.
But we've been really fortunate with the projects that have come in the shop, from the first project we did, it was an International Dragon, full restoration on her, beautiful boat. And then we go into Sunny, Skylark, and Santana kind of down the row. And as those projects grow in scope and size, it's a real tribute to just the guys in the shop. The crew in the shop they are the reason why we're getting these great projects, is that they are just phenomenal.
The fascination with things that are made with your hands is going to be there in human beings forever. That's just part of our makeup. We want to use our hands. We want to make things. We want to stand back at the end of the day and say, okay, I did that, which is a difficult thing to do with anything that isn't a physical object.
Along with that, the reason that they want us here is because there's an appreciation for what we do. They see new boats going in the water, or old boats being rebuilt and going back in the water. And Vineyard Haven has a long history. It has a long maritime history of boats being built and serviced here, and sailors from here. There's lots of merchant seamen in Vineyard Haven and West Tisbury that still go to sea on big ships. So something like building wooden boats is now quite often thought of as, it's long past when it should have ended. But there are people that still appreciate anything that's handmade, anything that takes a great deal of skill to craft, to make.
The other boats that I've built are similar. This is the fourth Nauset Marsh skiff I've built, so having the other boats around and being used has resulted in another project. So, like I said, probably perseverance is why I'm still here.
Being able to adapt to what's going on, when it's going on, has worked out really well. We make carbon fiber sails, Kevlar, Spectra, Dacron, Oceanus, some canvas, nylon. What we offer is more of what do you need as a sailor, and what we're offering something that you can't order online. We do everything here. We make our own sail bags. We really try and focus on making as much as we possibly can in-house. And I think that's been a philosophy since the beginning of the business, which is way before me.
It just, as I think back on all of the adventures that all of these businesses have provided, it blows my mind. It really does.
And where it's going is really going in the same direction with the same momentum that survives today. I don't think that there's ever been a time in man's on Earth history that there hasn't been some appreciation for basic skills supporting commerce, basic skills supporting communities, and basic skills supporting the arts. And really, boat building has a niche in each one of those facets, which I think will go on.
I think there's a desire for things of quality, things built to last, and many people want that. They're tired of the plastic junk that's everywhere, and they don't mind paying a little bit more and getting something that will be around for a while, something they can give to their kids and their grandchildren, and has some sustainability. So I think that's part of the reason.
Reason why I think this continues to work is because when people make this decision, I want to make this purchase, or I want to go down this road of having a boat, being on the water, they end up having some choices. When you come to this shop, if we're lucky enough to have you come to the shop and see if this is one of the avenues you want to take, the shop itself is filled with people, happy people, having a lot of fun, doing great work. There's a good sense of humor, there's a lot of creativity, and it's attractive, it's enticing, it's exciting. And I think for some people, they say, I could be a part of this.
I see it continue to grow. You know, right now we've got some storage tents across the street, and that's kind of the next big explosion. Is we'll start getting just a fleet of boats that are going to come back every year, so we can start tending on those, taking care of those boats every year. But also, I look around at the other companies that are older than us that have been around doing it longer, like Nat and Ross out on the vineyard at Gannon and Benjamin. Andy Giblin in Connecticut at MP&G, and their ability to get marquee projects or like a new build, kind of one after the next, after the next, after the next. That's the goal. That's where I really see us, see East Passage going.
No, I'm just down here picking away at it.
In this world, everything's becoming shinier and more sort of polished and professionally put together, where that can all be store-bought. That's all sort of, that's just a matter of spending the money, where for us, money's a factor, but really the biggest thing is offering our energy and our personal, like our real targeted energy on what that particular sailor needs or that business needs. Or
We've had that client and the Mahjong client were just that. They appreciate the work of what gets done, the artistry, the craft, all of that, and neither one of them wants to see. They want to be part of something and make sure that it doesn't disappear. And we have our, I'd say our crew. I don't know if your crew is the same. We have a really young, we have a lot of very young workers.
Whatever you have, you got to take care of it, and I think that's a lesson that people need to learn. I think it's a good lesson, and there are a lot of people, you know, that agree with that, and maybe there'll be a surge in that direction.